Finding a high-quality research topic is the first step on your research journey, and arguably the most important one too. But finding solid topic options can be tricky, to say the least. So in this video, we'll share 3 nifty tools and apps you can use to fast-track the process and find the right research topic for your project. Let's do it. Hey, my name's Emma, and today we're going to explore a handful of tools that you can use in the topic ideation phase of your research project. If you're currently hunting for a high-quality topic, be sure to check out our free Topic Ideation 101 webinar, where we unpack how to find and refine topic ideas from scratch. You can also grab a copy of our free research topic mega list, which features over 1,000 research topic ideas for your inspiration. Links to both of those are in the description. All right, so let's jump into it. As we've discussed many times before, the topic ideation process always starts with finding a meaningful research gap. Without a strong research gap, you'll never be able to justify your research topic or study. The tools we'll be looking at all help you find potential research gaps based on the current literature, which you can then build your topic around. If you're not 100% familiar with the concept of research gaps, we've got a straightforward explainer video covering exactly that. Link is in the description. Now, before we dive into the tools, it's important to say that the research gap identification process always needs to be driven and owned by the researcher. In other words, you can't rely exclusively on software, especially AI-powered software, to make decisions and manage the process for you. The options we'll discuss here are merely tools, not substitutes for your own initiative and critical thinking. So be careful to not over-rely on them. All right, with that little sermon out of the way, let's jump into it. First on the list is Consensus. Simply put, Consensus is an AI-powered search engine for academic research. It's similar to Google Scholar and other academic databases like ScienceDirect, PubMed, and so on, but with the additional power of AI. This means that you can directly ask Consensus to identify current research gaps in a particular field, and it will present a response based on the literature within its training set. It will also show you the specific articles that it used to build its response, so you can dig into these resources directly. Of course, being AI-powered means that Consensus is far from perfect and you should never take its word as gospel, but it can certainly still be a useful tool to use as a starting point. In other words, it can help you identify potential avenues that you can then review and verify for yourself. If you're interested in this sort of functionality, you can also look at SCITE Assistant, that's SCITE, which provides a similar search-based interface and summary capabilities. You can find the links to all of the tools we discuss in the description. Next up, we've got a service called Petal. Like Consensus, Petal makes use of AI, but for a different purpose. Specifically, Petal allows you to directly engage with a specific journal article in a chat-style format. Basically, you can upload a journal article and then ask Petal specific questions about that specific article. For example, you could ask it questions like, what were the research aims for this study? What sample did the study make use of? What were the key findings? And so on. Again, this is a useful way to speed up the initial screening process, but do keep in mind that anything that involves AI needs to be verified. So be careful not to over-rely on Petal to interpret the articles you feed it. At best, it's something akin to digital speed reading. So it's useful in the initial screening process, but you'll still need to spend the time properly reading the articles to make it onto your shortlist. The next useful tool worth taking a look at is Litmaps. Simply put, Litmaps helps you discover research articles that are relevant to your keywords, and then visualizes the connections between articles. For example, you can take an article that you found interesting, and Litmaps will show you who's cited that article since it was published in a very visually intuitive way. Beyond discovering related papers and visualizing the connections between them, you can also use Litmaps' monitoring service to keep track of any new research related to your topic area. In other words, you tell them which keywords you want to track, and they'll let you know whenever relevant new papers are published. This is especially useful if your research project spans multiple years, which is pretty common for doctoral level researchers. All right, the final tool, or category of tools that we'd strongly recommend for anyone at the topic ideation stage is some form of reference management software. This might sound a bit odd at this stage because you're not really writing anything just yet, but it's essential that you start logging your reference data as early as possible. By the time you start writing your research proposal or your actual dissertation or thesis, you'll have worked your way through dozens, if not hundreds of research articles. So it makes sense to log your reference info as early in the process as possible. To this end, we typically recommend Mendeley or Zotero, both of which are free to use reference management tools. We've compiled detailed tutorials for both of these, and as always, you can find the links in the description. At this stage, it's also a good idea to start compiling a literature catalog, which is simply a spreadsheet where you make notes about who said what and in what context. This might sound like an unnecessary extra step, but trust me, it'll be extremely useful when you get to the proposal writing stage, as it's pretty much impossible that you'll remember all the fine details at that point. If you're interested, we've got a free catalog template that you can use for this. Links in the description. All right, to recap, there are multiple tools and apps that you can consider to help fast-track your research topic ideation. Remember though, the technology landscape is always changing, so always do your own research and be careful to not over-rely on anything that involves AI. Always remember, if it involves AI, it's your job to verify. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons so that we can keep you posted with the latest tips and tools. And be sure to check out this video next.